Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. It's Untethered Live on a Wednesday night. I'm your host, Jake Johnson, and tonight we're drinking coffee. Coffee soothes the wild beast in the weary soul, and it rests the tired behind. Remember that. Sometimes you need to just kick back and take a sip. Thank you to the person who provides coffee for the show. It is a regular cup of joe. That's the way I like it, don't you know? Come on and have a cup with me. Get your cup, go to the kitchen, pour yourself up a nice hotter, and let's get going. If you don't have a cup, though, you can get one in the description below. I recommend the first one. It has this face on it. It is fantastic. We also have stainless steel tumblers down there. They both have locking lids. Both, I mean the big ones and the little ones. They keep your coffee hot for hours. They look good on your coffee table. And all your friends will be jealous of you if you have one. They have the Bible study logo on the front and all the platforms on the back. Can't beat that with a beaten stick. Also, like, subscribe, share, support, join, and super chats are available in the chat box. If you want to show a little bit of love, if you want to, that's Feed Jake. Not the other thing you heard, just for the uninitiated. You can do that by going to CashApp $JakeJohnsonband. I greatly appreciate that. And one last thing. If you would like to hang out with me and Amanda, you can do that over at Facebook.com/UntetheredLive chilling. The link is in the chat. It's a great place to share pictures, text, videos, memes, and chat with each other and get to know one another. And it's free, and it's yours, and it's there. So go use it. And now, joining me always is the great bandhammer herself, Amanda.
Howdy, Untethered Live family.
Howdy.
Happy hump day.
Camel, camel. Who do we have in chat tonight? First up, Kingdom Kid. Kingdom Kid says, "Good afternoon, Jake. I'm sitting front row now. Buddy, stay blessed. Brother chat, love you. Stay blessed." Thank you. That's better than the corner. You get the gold star for being first in chat. Is this your first gold star? And if so, what do you plan to do with it? I'm going to Disney World. They love me. They really love me. Amanda says.
Kid, here's your gold star. And hi, kid.
Hi. How are you doing? I feel good. Kingdom Kid says, "Hey, Mandy, I hope all is well with you and your family." I call her Mandy. That's Miss Amanda to you. Amanda says,
"Hi, Untethered Live family. Good to see y'all. Happy hump day. Camel, camel.
Camel, camel.
I hope everyone is doing good. Hi, Jake. How are you tonight?"
Fantastic. A little froggy, but that's okay. That's the way it's been for a while now, so I imagine it's going to keep being that way.
Probably.
Froggy, froggy, froggy. April Rain is here, and she says, "Hi, everyone. Love and hugs. I'll be right back." Well, all right. It's nice to have seen you. I'm glad you could make it. I'll talk to you next time you show up. Get in the game, woman.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was typing.
Stop typing.
All is well here. How are you? Hi, April.
April says, "Hi, Amanda. Hearts and flowers." Amy's here. She says, Matthew 6:34. "Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own." Amen. And I teach that sentiment as well. Let the dead bury the dead. Don't put any thought for tomorrow. Today has enough trouble. Today will keep you busy enough. Don't think about tomorrow. Tomorrow will take care of itself. Very good wisdom from the great book of Matthew. And thank you, Amy. And how are you? Nice to see you.
Hi, Amy.
April says, kid, good to see you. Hearts and thumbs up. And hi, Amy. Hearts and roses. Amy says, hi, Kingdom Kid, Amanda, and April. And hey, Jake. Hi. Glad you could be here on a Wednesday. Kingdom Kid says, April, it's even better to see you. And I hope and pray that you and your family are blessed. We are. You know, part of her family works for the big guy. It's good to be the king. And it's good to know the king and be in his employ. That's always a nice thing. Big John Nugget. Big John Nugget. I'll get it out. Big John Nugget. I got to put some bass in my voice. What's up, buddy? He says, hi, everybody. Heart. Nice to see you, Big John.
Hi, Nugget.
Kingdom says, Amy Hart. And Amanda says, you said it already.
Yeah, hi, Nugget.
And April says, thank you. Prayers. I truly appreciate that. And to you also. Smiley face with herpes and hearts in a circle. Amy says, hi, John. Nugget. Kingdom Kid says, I cannot wait for this Friday. This is the longest I've been away from my sweet boss lady and my children in quite some time. But thank the Lord in heaven, I get to be with him Friday. Nice. Who? The Lord in heaven?
Them, I think you meant.
You mean you get to be with your boss lady and your children?
Yes.
That would be good. Don't go the other way. Come away from the edge. April says, hi, John. Smiley face and breasticles and a heart. Kingdom Kid says, John, I hope you're having a blessed day, brother.
And here's the Facebook chilling page.
If anybody wants to check it out, there it is. That's not the page. It's a link to the page.
Well,
But it'll get you there if you click it. April says, oh, that's sweet, kid. Prayers. You are blessed. If you're here, you are blessed. This is a blessing kind of place. I'm going to start calling this Blessing Alley because everybody that ends up here ends up being blessed. That's a true fact. I didn't make it up. You can look into it. Amy says, 12 watching and only 6 likes. Come on, lurkers. Yeah, lurkers. Reach up and hit that like button. It's free. Well, there's 10 now. Angela Ashkins here. Hi, all, says Angela. Angela, hi. How are you, sweet lady? Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well tonight. And Big John says, I'm okay. Thanks, Kingdom Kid. I hope you have a blessed day. And everyone, thumbs up.
hi, Angela.
Well, so far, mine's been pretty sweet. Long, but sweet. I was manually printing sweatpants today on the hip, which is an odd place to put a print. A lot of effort to get it there. So that was a long day. But pays well, so there's that.
At least once you got home from work, it was a nice day.
Yes, it was. That was a lovely non-nap.
Sorry.
Well. Did you say hi to Angela?
Yes, I did.
And Amy says, hi, Angel. And April says, hi, Angela. Rose and smiley face. Hearts. And April says, bravo, woohoo, smiley face. There's that.
Chit-Chat jump 833.
Yep. There it goes. Angela says, hello, Amanda, Amy, and April. Heart. Debbie's here. She says, howdy, all y'all. Debbie, how you doing, sweet lady?
Hi, Debbie.
April says, I just hit my like button. Thumbs up. Smiley face and hearts. Hit that like button. It's free. Come on, get it on up to 16. We need it. Amy says, Angel, April, Amanda, and Amy, the A-team. I love it. Soldiers of Fortune, the A-Team. If you have a problem, and if you can find them, you can hire the A-Team. Ba-ba-dun-dun, bum-bum-bum. Ba-da-da-da-da, ba-da-da-dun-dun.
You gonna be our agent, Jake?
Yes. I'll be Hannibal. I love it when a plan comes together. I got the cigar and everything.
Right.
You can be Mr. T.
Me?
Well, who would you be?
Yeah, I'd probably be Mr. T.
April's Murdoch.
Touche. Touche.
So who would that make face?
I don't know. That's kind of a little more on Amy's side there, isn't it?
Amy. It'd have to be Amy.
Yeah. And well, I don't know Angela too well, so
Oh, she'd be the reporter.
yeah.
Da 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 da. Oh yeah, I love it when a plan comes together. April says, "Hi, Debbie, Rose, and Hearts, and Jake, Yay, love and hugs. What are you yaying about? What's celebratory? Did I miss something?"
No.
Patty says, "Hello, everyone. Hi, Patty." Smiley face. Nice to see you, Patty. Come on in. Come in out the rain. Amy says, "Hi, Patty." April says, "Hi, Patty."
Hi,
Rose and Heart.
Hi, Patty.
Linda Davis is here. She says, "Hey, everybody." Smiley face with breasts. Hi, Linda. Hi, Linda. Nice to see you. Glad you could make it. How you feeling today? Doing good, I hope. Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate that. You know who you are. April says, "Hi, Linda." Patty says, "Hey, ladies." Turtle or Japanese fan. I think it's a turtle helmet.
No.
It looks like a turtle helmet.
No.
Turtle. Amy says, "It's been raining all day here." Here too. It wasn't so bad until the temperature started to drop. Burr. Yeah, it's been raining all day here too. Just a steady drizzle. It's not like a hard rain. It's just like you look outside and it doesn't look like it's raining at all, but everything's wet and it just stays wet and there's water coming up from the road. And I don't know what that is. It don't look like it's raining, but it's raining.
It's been drizzling here for 3 days straight.
Drizzle.
It's probably because of Melissa out there in the Caribbean.
Well, I woke up in the morning to a drizzling rain. Gotta wake up the old ball and chain. If you wanna go to heaven, gotta D-I-E. If you gotta get a job, you put a T-I-E. T-I-E. Like a D-O-G.
Chat's gonna jump soon as you start reading.
I know. It's, I'm used to it. April says, "Awesome kid, bravo." What are you so happy about, April? You keep bravoing and yaying and woohooing. What is the good news? Are
She's
you
just
just
talking.
happy? It's nice to be happy.
Still didn't answer my phone calls.
No, can't answer that phone call. Go away. No,
I bet you it wasn't Timu.
it wasn't Timo. It was Facebook.
I can turn that off too.
No, I need that. But the temperature has been pretty steady all day today. Just chilly, but not cold. I don't know what temperature it is. Probably 50s. It feels like the 50s anyway. April says, "Awesome kid, bravo." Prayers and thumbs up and circle hearts. And April says, "Hi, Cookie." Big John says, "I'm gutted today." Oh no. What happened? Did you fall on a knife? Did somebody mug you? How did you get gutted? I bought a retro game stick 2 weeks ago with 2,000 games on it, 20,000 games on it, and it can't play it because of my hand. Oh,
that sucks.
that kind of gutted. I
That
understand.
sucks.
Well, you could just turn it on and watch the demo.
Or you could lay the controller down on the table, put something behind it underneath it so it won't slide, and put the controller on the table and just put your fingers on top of the controller.
You could do that. Just play it like that.
Like a keyboard instead of a controller. And it's 57, Jake.
57. What's 57?
The temperature.
57 is the temperature.
And raining.
And raining. Good gracious alive. But you could just turn it on and let the demo play and watch the game that you want to play. At least you get the enjoyment of seeing the game.
That'd make you just want to play it even more.
Yeah. True. But also, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. And when in doubt, improvise.
Yeah, I'd just figure out how to play it because it's not that much different just sitting on the table than it is in your hand.
You've never had a broken hand, have you?
Yes. You forget I had carpal tunnel surgery in both hands. They were in cast for 6 weeks.
Got it. Yeah, that's not a broken hand.
They're still in cast. You still can't do nothing.
That's not a broken hand. That is a cut hand. Not the same thing. I've had both. Trust me. You don't want to have a broken hand. It hurts. So he's not going to want to do this, even if he could.
Well,
he'd be better off to play with his toes, which is doable, but not as the precision. You're going to die a lot, but it's fun to try. You might want to try it. Just put the controller on the floor, put your feet on top of it, and go for it. And by the way, what is a game stick? I don't know what that is. I'm guessing that's like a Fire Stick with pre-programmed games. It's an emulator with pre-programmed games. Is that what it is?
no, it's probably like our retro Nintendo. The little mini one that plugs into the TV that's got all the games stored on it already.
I don't think I've seen that. But I know what you're talking about. My sister has an Atari like that.
Yeah, something like that.
I haven't seen the Nintendo one, though.
Yeah.
I would get it because I like the old Nintendo games.
Oh, yeah, they've got one that's a Nintendo. It's got all the Mario games and all the Nintendo. Every Nintendo game out, it's on it.
Well, let's go get one.
Okay.
I also like to play things like Castlevania. That kind of game, that level of game.
Mm-hmm.
Zelda. And I also like to play like Final Fantasy. Up to 7. It gets a little girly after 7, but up until 7, it's a pretty good game. Pretty solid. Metal Gear Solid, that's a good game. Any Metal Gear. I haven't played any of the new ones. My gaming stopped at about 2000, so anything after that I haven't really played, but,
Yeah.
I was there in the beginning.
Well, I played all the Mario games, and I know some of the newer Mario games because I had a Wii.
I played Ninja Gaiden, baby.
Yeah.
And the one with the split screen with the sun going down like a Western. I forget the name of it. Had a really Kurosawa type theme song.
Mm-hmm.
Whistling. Rygar, I think that was the name of it. Rygar.
Something like that.
Anyway, it was a good game. All the old days. Back when I could walk down to the convenience store, which was a mom and pop store, and rent a Nintendo for $4. Comes with 2 games, 2 days. So you could rent the game for 2 days. And then you had to take it back. If you couldn't beat the game in 2 days, you just had to take it back or rent it for 2 more days.
Mm-hmm.
And you could rent a VCR with 2 movies for $5. Do you remember those days?
Yep.
Amy says, on the other hand, there's a golden band to remind me of the one that did not understand. Sorry. Use your other hand. It's not a joystick. It takes both hands. That's my advice for masturbation. Debbie says, Amy, did you take a bar of soap outside and shower? Did you sell tickets? Aaron would have bought one, I think. I think you're probably right. I would have bought one. I wouldn't have came, but I'd have bought a ticket. It takes a little more than that to get me off, but whatever. Allow me to give you girls a tip. I mean, if you really want me to, I'll put the whole thing in. Tip. All right, moving on.
Yeah.
Amanda is a member for 19 months. She says it. You say it.
It's been a great time. I love being here with y'all. Jake, thank you for letting me be a part of this, and I love you.
I love me too, and I'm so grateful that you want to be a part of this. And I love you too. Of course I do. I wouldn't have let you be part of my empire if I didn't. My empire of dirt. It ain't much of an empire, but it's mine. And there's countless of trailer park floozies and dudes that lived in caves that didn't do nearly as good as I did, so that's not nothing.
Right?
Might not be something, but it's not nothing. I did better than a lot. But thank you for continuing your membership in all honesty and in all sincerity. The show is... It hinges on the necessity of having you. You're the thing that makes it thrive. So I appreciate that.
You're welcome to.
You couldn't do it without my wit. But Patty says, hi, Big John from across the pond. Linda says, hi, Kid and Amanda and April and Amy and Nugget and Patty and Angela and Debbie. Oh, my. Hi, Linda. You didn't hi to me. I don't get a hi. I'm not in that list. You see that?
She always does you separate.
She says, congratulations, Amanda. Lovely to see you, too. Smiley face, prayers, and hearts. And I really have no reason I will not answer my phone.
Yeah, right? Hi, Linda.
Big John says, Amy, it's got a PlayStation controller sort of thing. It needs 2 hands. So does my Johnson. Johnson, outboard motor for my boat. What are you thinking about, you dirty girl?
I was pleading the fifth.
Big John says, hi, Patty, heart. And Linda Davis says, of course, Jake, heart and wavy hand. Thank you. I'm just teasing you. You don't have to say hi to me. I'm just playing. I know it don't sound like I'm playing because I can't articulate with my throat and everything sounds like this, but it's the best I can do. Debbie says, Amanda, that was sweet about Jake, but you don't have to work so hard. I believe he is a sure thing. It's the only way I can get her to work hard.
LOL, Debbie. And you're full of it, Jake.
Of course I am. Have you seen me? My face is on people's TV. Would you expect me to not be full of shit?
No.
Big John says, got it. I'll use my tongue. Ha! Where there's a will, there's a way, John. You figured it out. Mabel's here. She says, ciao, everybody. Hey, Mabel, how are you? Is your hubby off? Are you by yourself? How are you? Are you doing okay?
I think your chat jumped.
Chat jumped?
Yeah, you need to go to 841.
841. I did not see it jump. I apologize. I was in the moment. 841. Linda says, that's so nice, kid. I love that kind of love. What kind of love? Did I miss something else?
No, him missing his wife.
Oh, up top. Got it. Yep. Amanda says, LOL, Debbie. And that's sweet about Jake.
You started right, the Linda comment.
I got it. Kingdom Kid says, Linda, I've just seeing your comment. How are you doing? I'm just seeing your comment. How are you doing? And Linda says, I'm having a hard night, kid, but I'll get through it. What's wrong, Linda? Anything we can do to help? You need a paramedic or a laugh? That's medicine also. Well, I'll make you laugh. Give me a minute. I'm warming up. Kingdom says, I'm sorry, and I understand it. Clearly noted. I will keep you and everybody I've ever known in my prayers. You put the period in the strangest places. But thank you. We all need prayers. I'd be face, says Amy. I thought you probably would be.
Oh, Linda, prayers, hon. I hope you feel better.
I hope you feel better, too. And if there's anything we can do to help, don't hesitate to ask. You know we'll be here for you. And we have phones. Call us if you need us. Big John says, Untethered Live team. Oof. That's right, Big John. And we got a great one, too. Great team. And it's shaping out to be fantastic. All the new members are just excellent. I haven't had one bad cookie in the bunch in the last couple of months. Well, one. The last one, you know, the girl that we had a little trouble with. That was the last one. Everybody else that has joined the team has been salt of the earth, primo people. I'm really proud of that. Amy says, Cookie, hugs and kissy face and prayers. And Amy says, release the Kraken, Jake. Why? Nobody's pissed me off yet. I will. I mean, I'll let it go, but I got to have something to bitch about. You got any ideas? Anything bothering you particularly?
This is your turtle.
Turtle.
And this is your fan.
Turtle. I'm sorry, it looks like a turtle.
Looks like a fan.
That looks like a cartoon turtle. That looks like a real turtle.
Yeah.
With a tippy toes.
Mm-hmm.
A turtle on its tippy toes.
Yeah.
Bill Bennett says, what's up, Untethered Live fam? Hey, Bill. Nice to see you, my friend.
Hi, Bill.
Bill. What you up to, buddy? Amy says, hi, Bill. Billy the Kid. I miss Billy the Kid. Whatever happened to that guy?
I don't know.
Amanda says,
hi, Bill.
Linda says, hi, Bill. Big John says, again, I got it. I'll use my tongue. And Mabel says, ciao. Hey, Mabel. Are you by yourself? Is your husband off? What's going on? You doing all right? I think I've been here before, but I'm trying. Amanda says,
hi, Mabel.
Linda says, Nugget, if you can do that, you would be very sought after, man. Right. That she's talking about playing a video game with your tongue. AABB, up, down, left, right, start, select. That's the combination to every woman. Amanda says, LOL, Linda. And Linda says, hi, Mabel, smiley face. Big John says, Linda, blah. And Mabel says, how is everyone? Jake, how are you? I'm fantastic, Mabel. Nice to see you. And thank you for asking. It's been a long day, but I'm home. I'm enjoying a nice hot cup of coffee, and I'm hanging out with my great friends, and I could not be happier. And the extracurricular stuff that happened before I came on live. So Debbie would like that stuff. Oh, yeah. Big John says, the only thing I can lick is a window. Why? Can you not lick your hand? I have a lot of questions. Are you as big as a house and can't get to anything but the window? Just roll up to the window and press your face up against it? What's going on? Surely there are other lickable things in your vicinity. And Big John says, congratulations, Amanda. Thumbs up for the renewed monthly. And I do appreciate that too, by the way. Check that out. That's an example for you. She lives here and works here and maintains a membership, and I didn't ask her to. That's love.
And had it since the day you become monetized.
True, true, true.
And thanks, Nugget.
Mabel says, Psalms 144, 1. Blessed be the Lord my strength, which teacheth my hands to war and my fingers to fight. And Timothy 2, 3, 4. Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Jesus Christ. No man that warreth enlargeth himself with the affairs of his life, that he may please him who hath chosen to him. Who hath chosen to him. Yep. That's the problem, though. War is a singular event in a man's life. All men are capable of it. Some women are too. But when you cross over into that world, you can't occupy the other world at the same time. And there's a cost benefit going on there. There's a ratio. Whatever you dedicate to being a soldier, you have to take away from being a human being. And so the scales tip. And it's sometimes that price is more than one can bear. And it's a really, truly blessed human being that can get through the fight and keep that other thing intact. There are, if you look at Vietnam as an example, that's the closest one in my history that I can think of. Many people made it out of that, not so intact with the other side, their humanity. And that was a bad situation all the way around. So anybody that ends up being in war, my prayer would be that they be able to maintain their humanity and not do things or be forced to do things that would cause them to lose it. Because you can lose your humanity in some of the things that are required in battle. Because battle is no holds barred, and it does not forgive a man that doesn't want to go there. You have to go there. If you want to survive, you have to go there. And that means sometimes going there. And if you do that, there may not be a way back. So God bless to all those who ended that situation. I am so grateful that I'm not one of those men. I would be in a minute if I was called to do so, but for whatever reason, God didn't put me in that kind of life. So I'm eternally grateful to those who to fight those battles in my stead. And Mabel says, to be a soldier is the end of that sentence. I'll read it again. No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of his life, of this life, that he may please him who hath chosen him to be a soldier. Right. No, the guy that chooses you to be a soldier only cares about one thing, and that's your destructive ability. He doesn't care about you as a human being. He wants you to be a weapon for him. And that's what pleases the guy that hires you to be a soldier. God, on the other hand, he would never appoint a man to be a soldier unless there was a righteous fight that was behind it. That's why I've always maintained, anytime I've read about the wars in the Bible, that the status quo is if God tells you to go fight, then go fight, you'll win. But if God does not tell you to go fight, don't you go fight, because you're going to lose. That's just the way it always seems to be. Righteous, there is a reason to fight righteously. There is a thing in this world that is okay for a man to stand up and fight. Most of the things that we fight about as countries are not it. Property and resources and oil and things like that. God ain't told us to go fight for those things. So if God ordains it, it's a good fight. If he doesn't, it's not. And I stand by that. April says, love you, Linda. Hugs and smiley face with herpes. And April says, hi, Mabel. Rose and hearts. And Mabel says, hi, April. And April says, Bill, good to see you, heart. And Linda says, just my heart not being able to stop loving and missing my husband. I can't seem to be able to move on and let go. I understand that, Linda. That's why your friends are here, because we understand that. We've all been there in a similar situation, and we are all here for you and each other. So, yes, it is difficult and sometimes impossible or near impossible to move on from a situation like that. And it may work out in the end. I wouldn't presume to give you hope that it won't, because it might, you know. But until and if that day arrives, you have to survive with or without that situation. So the best thing to do is to move forward with purpose. Fill your days with busy. Find something that interests you. Find something that you're good at. Find something that somebody needs and fill that void. And that will help you move forward. It's not going to get easier, but it will get lighter over time. And Big John Nugget, thank you for the £5 super chat, my brother. He says, prayers to everyone in chat. You're all surrounded in God's love. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Fab Daddy's here. What's up, buddy? Fab Daddy says, okay, I am here. You can bitch at all you want. You can bitch at all you want, Jake. Fingers and ears. La, 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 la. I have no reason to bitch at you.
Not yet, anyway.
Are you planning on giving me a reason to bitch at you?
This is Fab. You know, that could change at any minute.
It could, but I love him anyway. I'll bitch at you, but, you know, I still love you. Lady B says, message retracted. I can't read it if you retract it. And Fab Daddy says, hi, everybody.
Oh, Linda hugs.
And Linda, you know I love you. And if you ever want to just talk about whatever, call me. I'm right here, 24/7. Doesn't matter what time it is. I'll pick up the phone.
Unlike April.
April.
Hi, Fab and Lady.
Big John says, prayers, Linda. Prayers and hearts. And Lady says, hey, everyone. Lady B. Nice to see you, sweet lady. How are you? And Mabel, how's Hannah doing today? April says, Linda, I know the feeling. I'm praying in love. I'm prayers in love. Right on. And Mabel says, yes, Vic left yesterday and landed in Toronto yesterday evening and is on his way to the
Warsaw.
On his way to Warsaw, to his flight to Warsaw, Poland, where he will take a bus into Ukraine. I did not realize that Poland was connected to Ukraine. I thought there was water in between. I guess I don't know geography that well. That's interesting. I guess I need to look at a map. I talk about that region more than I want to. I probably should look at it. April says, prayers and love, heart. And Debbie says, Big John, we're talking Gene Simmons' tongue or what? Gene Simmons' tongue is a regular old everyday human tongue. However, he did convince some people that he had a cow tongue attached to his tongue, and people believed that in the 90s and the 80s.
No, but what he really did was he had his, I can't think of what it's called. What's that skin under your tongue?
Frenulum.
Yes, the frenulum clipped so he could stick his tongue out further.
Right.
Which is the same process that they do for kids that are born tongue-tied or people that are tongue-tied.
Yep. That frenulum is pretty important. I used to cut mine. I have a short tongue because I bit the tip of my tongue off when I was a little boy. And so I have to stick my tongue out further than everybody else does to do the same job. So I used to cut my frenulum on my bottom teeth all the time, like wearing it out like a jigsaw. I'll leave it to your imagination as to what I was doing, but yeah, that frenulum, when it gets sore, it gets sore. Where are we at?
902.
90210. April says, prayers and love. Debbie, I got you. That's 902. 902. April says, hi, lady. Mabel says, I'm doing okay. I'm sad because I miss my man, but that is okay. And Hannah and I have been spending the day listening to Vic's rum playlist that he always listens to. I would love to know what's on that playlist. And that's a good way to handle many, many, many sorrows. Music does things to people. It takes you instantly to a place in time. It can heal you. It can lift you up. It can make you remember things. Music really is a blessing from God.
Music is food for the soul, medicine for the soul, medicine for the heart.
And I would give everything I had 10 times over to be able to sing to you guys. I wish I could. I lost my voice because of COVID, and I have not regained it. And as you can hear, I'm struggling with it to this day. And I don't think it's going to get any better. I think I'm retired. I think I've been forced out of my job. So, I can't sing, but I'd love to be able to.
You got this, Linda. You're a strong woman and have a lot of people who have your back. You can do it. We love you.
Amen. And April says, thanks, Mabel, for letting us know. And Big John says, Debbie, just a bit smaller than Jean's tongue. Bill Bennett says, do not turn evil while hard to do now. Do not turn evil while hard to do now. I don't exactly know what you're referring to, Bill. Could you be a little bit more specific? What's hard to do now and who's turning to evil? Or who wants you to turn to evil? And thank you again, John, for the £5 super chat. Amanda says, woohoo, thanks, Nugget. And Lady B says, thank you, Nugget, for the prayers for everyone. It's appreciated, and prayers back to you. And April says, God bless you, hugs, and thanks, love. And hi, Fab Daddy. Fab Daddy says hi. April says, I'll see you later. Good night, everybody. April, good night, sweet lady. I love you. I'm sorry you're leaving so soon. I'm just getting warmed up. Big John says, hi, Lady B, heart. And Lady B says, love you, April, prayers. Linda says, good night, April, kissy face and heart. Lady B says, love you, Linda.
Night, April.
Big John says, good night, April, heart. Have a blessed night. And Linda says, thank you, Lady B, heart. Lady B says, Linda, if you need to talk, Jake's chat will jump. If you need to talk in the morning, I will call you. Oh, nice. Mabel says, Hannah's doing good. I'm impressed with how mature she's been with Vic leaving and still taking care of her chores, and that she would usually do with him. And I'm very proud of her, and I am keeping her close, as you should. And this is a good time for bonding. In a time like this, that's a good time for you two to really grow together as a team and as friends, or as, the parent-daughter role, however you want to look at that.
I was just going to say, now's a good time that it's just the two ladies.
Mm-hmm.
Now would be a good time to teach her about the lady role that she's not too long coming into.
Right on.
About what the boys are going to try and all that craziness. You need to give her a heads up so she's aware.
How to break a jaw with one move.
Right.
Walk softly and carry a big stick. And Lady B says, hearts, Mabel. And Mabel says, I can put some of his favorite in live comments, or I can wait until after and add to the comments if anyone else would like to listen as well. Yeah, that'd be a good idea. There's a comment section below, and everybody will get notifications when you put a comment there. So if you want, just put a list of them in the comment section, and everybody can go and check them out. That's not a bad idea. Have a song list. Mabel says, thank you, Lady B. A smiley face. And Amanda says,
However you'd like to do it, Mabel.
right on. Bill Bennett says, about the people in war trying to come back to society. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a difficult thing to do sometimes. Because, like I said, some wars, and it ain't all wars, but some wars push you into places that men probably shouldn't go. But you have to do that if you're in that kind of a situation. And if you've got a maniacal leader pushing you in directions that nobody really wants to go in, but he's made it his mission to do so. There's been a lot of people that had trouble with that over the years. So thank God for good sense and people standing on their own 2 feet, not being just a follower like they used to be back in the day. Let's see. Linda Davis says, Lady B, it's hard to talk about. I just find myself asking God to fix things, but have to learn that I need to accept if it's not what God wants. Right. Well, love is one of those tricky things because that is what God wants, but he wants that for himself. And I don't really think, now this is my opinion and I could be wrong, but it doesn't make sense to me that God would interfere with the love of people, being that is a choice that people make. I don't think God interferes with that. I think that's a thing that we do all by ourselves. And I think a lot of people ask God for love and ask God for some sort of connection with a soulmate or another human being. And I think you're just asking in vain. I don't think he does that. I don't think that's in his purview because it's a free will issue. Love is not a thing that can be made to happen.
But he does put certain people in your path for certain reasons.
Well, that's true, but it's up to the people to see their potential and act on it.
Right.
Yes, God puts people in your path, but whether you fall in love is up to you, right?
Yes.
Whether you do the right things or respond to the right stimuli or whatever it is that's in front of you, that's entirely your call. So I really don't think God does that. Now, I might be wrong about that, and that puts a damper on the whole idea of a soulmate, but I really don't think that's what God does. I think love is a free will thing. And that would explain why so many people screw it up. That makes a lot of sense if you think about it. Because it's the easiest thing in the world to do.
Yeah.
Yet we screw it up almost every time. It's very rare that a good love lasts forever. And when you have that, you have a truly unique and beautiful thing that is not normal. It's not normal because most of the time it blows up in your face. It's better to have loved and lost than have never loved at all. The reason that expression exists is because we almost never get it right. And Mabel says, Amanda, okay, thank you, smiley face. And Lady B says, you are wise, Linda. Keep God close to your heart and don't stop praying. I agree with that. And Mabel says, yep, we have those talk. And I have lots planned for us for the next coming months. Excellent.
Awesome, Mabel. Y'all enjoy.
Fab Daddy says, I had a rough time after my divorce. Some would say I was a broken man. Oh, I know the feeling, buddy. So, Linda, if it's meant anything to you, or if it means anything to you, I believe you have the strength to endure. It does, I'm sure. And she does, I'm sure. Lady B says, Linda, read Serenity Prayer. I have had to do that on occasion. Isn't that the one about the alcoholics? God grant me the wisdom to accept the things I cannot change and yada, yada, yada. I think that's the Serenity Prayer you're talking about. Lady B says, Fab Serenity Prayer. Mabel says, Petrol Heads by Stephen Smith. Temporary Slaves, B-side by Ron Gallo. The Whistler by White Buffalo. And Someone Disappeared by The Everywheres. Nice. Here's a few for now. And Hannah helped me pick pick out the ones that Vic listens to the most, and I will add more in the comment section later. Excellent. Thank you.
Thanks, Mabel.
Now, are those Canadian bands, or are they just like
Probably.
traveling bands? Fab Daddy says, Mabel, never heard of any of those musicians. They're probably Canadian musicians. That's probably why. I know of a couple, like Canadian Ragweed. And Drive-By Truckers. Debbie says, loving is easy. I married 18 after knowing him a week and a half. And we were married over 30 years when he passed. And loving him was the easiest thing I ever did. Nice. You know, sometimes you just get lucky and it's the right thing right off the bat. I do believe that there's a certain collection of people that you get early in life that if you work right around them, you can end up being with them forever. I think everybody has options. But those do run out, by the way. You ever want proof of God? Just live long enough for things to stop happening for you. And then recognize that you've been sitting idle for months and months and months, and nothing has just happened in your life in front of you like it used to. Like things were happening all the time. You'd end up in strange places, and, the wheels of time were moving, and you were out there going and doing things and meeting people, and you'd end up over here, and you'd meet this person, and you'd end up over there and get this job and end up over there and, discover this thing, and then that just stops. So I really believe there are some things that are placed before you to give you a leg up, and if you do it right, or if you make the right decisions, off you go. If you don't, you end up in a trailer park smoking a rolled cigarette and drinking a warm beer, looking at the floor that is shag carpet because you're in a trailer park, wondering how it all went wrong. Oh, yeah. Fab Daddy says, I need to get to know our 51st state. What is that? Canada? Oh, yeah. They don't like that, I don't think. Lady B says, for alcoholics, serenity prayer. What? No, Jake. Well, what is it then? That was a question, not a statement.
Some of the AA places do the serenity prayer.
I'm pretty sure it's the alcoholic prayer. Yeah.
But they do it, but they have a prayer or a saying that they recite for everything, for the drugs and for alcohol.
That's because they believe in secularism too. They're trying to be inclusive. But the original thing that they did in AA was recite that prayer. It's on the chips and everything.
Yeah, I think it's in the book and everything.
Mabel says, I don't think any of them are Canadian. Definitely a few Americans. Vic has always had different tastes in music, LOL. Very unknown artists, but I like them. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. I like unknown artists. I am an unknown artist. So, some of my favorite music is Shooter Jennings, and very few people know who that is. And Lucas Nelson and guys like that. Charlie Robinson, not the one that shot the guy. That's two different guys. That's Tyler Robinson that shot Charlie. Charlie Robinson is a guitar player. Anyway.
LOL. Cool, Mabel.
Mabel says, I imagine Jake will really like White Buffalo with Steve Smith. Among Vic's favorite artists for sure. I'll definitely check that one out.
Jake loves B-side music too.
Yes, I do. And I like alternative versions of songs, like popular songs. I like when I go watch a band and they play it live and it's nothing like the album, because They're not the musicians that played on the album. That's why. But also because it's a live version, it has more energy. It's more built for a crowd than a recording session, which is very sterile. A good example of that would be Last Dance with Mary Jane. If you really listen to that song, it's boring. If you played that song live, everybody would fall asleep. So when you play it live, you have to amp it up like 3 beats faster than it's recorded and put a lot more distortion and a lot more guitar work and things like that. Bigger drums, build it up, more energetic.
Debbie, you got Kevin locked in the closet again tonight?
Yeah, where is Kevin?
Or the basement? He might be tired. He's been tired lately.
And Mabel says, Amanda, yeah, Vic loves hidden gems and underrated artists.
That's Jake.
And yes, do not say the 51st state in Vic's presence. Fab Daddy says, I was joking, Mabel, but thanks for the heads up. Yeah, it's that's a joking thing here, but I think they're kind of sensitive about it. But that's all right. That's how we get to know each other. Hello.
Hell no.
Hell no. I won't go.
Hell no. I
Facebook
won't
again.
go.
They've started this new thing with people you don't know, and you'll get a text that says, so-and-so mentioned you in a comment.
Yeah.
But it isn't. They didn't mention me in a comment. They listed all of the people that are friends with them in a comment so that they would all get notifications. So you're not actually in the comment when you have to follow it to find that out. I don't like that. Don't lie to me, Facebook. Mabel says, oh, one people might like here is a song called Help Yourself by the ℂ𝕚𝕝𝕝𝕝. And it goes 1,000 ways to heaven, 1,000 ways to hell. But the good Lord helps those who help themselves. I like it. Mabel says it's another one of Vic's faves. Nice. And Fab Daddy says, I heard of the ℂ𝕚𝕝𝕝𝕝. And Debbie says, shh, we cannot speak of Kevin tonight. He has been bad. Oh, no.
As he pops in right behind her.
Kevin says, hello, Jake, Amanda, and everyone. Hey, Kevin. Old St. Bernard. I heard you've been bad.
Did you get a whooping?
And Mabel says, Fab, definitely on Vic's top 5 bands. I'll definitely check them out. And Linda says, smiley, 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 smiley. And in that order. And one more smiley for hi, Kevin. Big John says, hey, Kevin, buddy, what's up? I have been known to pick and grin a little bit.
You know, it's hard to steal a cookie when you've only got 3 left.
I know, right?
Guess I'll be making cookies tomorrow.
Yep. I got a new guitar, by the way. I showed it on here once before, but I've been working on it and I got it fixed all up. It is a Telecaster, but it has daisies and sunflowers all over it, and it is beautiful. It is a very old guitar, and it's a very good sounding guitar. One day I'll bring it out and play it for you guys. Big Fab Daddy says, I watched 4 bands Saturday and some fire dancers. Nice. Which bands? And Kevin says, Mother always said, stick with what you're good at, and I'm good at being bad. Lady B says, Jake, you make me laugh with your dry sense of humor. I always get your humor, and you seriously teach me during Bible study. Tonight, you are getting on my nerves. Linda and Fab, I was helping with Serenity. Okay. Well, guess what? I don't care. I'm going to say what I'm going to say because I own the microphone. I apologize for it getting on your nerves. I'm not wrong. If you'll go look, the Serenity Prayer, which was a question that I asked, is the AA prayer. So it is the prayer for alcoholics. That's not wrong. So I apologize that got on your nerves, but, get over it. And I love you anyway. And Lady B says, love everyone, bye. Well, if you're going to be that way about it, gets to stepping. I'm sorry.
That's right, Kevin.
I apologize that facts bother you. I was asking a legitimate question. You can't please everybody all the time. If I say something you don't like, just be patient. I'll get to you in a minute. Some people like the things I say. If you don't like this one, I'll say something you like in a minute. Kevin says, good night, Lady B. And Fab Daddy says, thanks, Lady B. I'm all fixed from my divorce. And Amanda says,
night, lady.
Mabel says, also, you will be happy to know that Vic spent Monday night downloading a bunch of the live streams for him to listen to on his flight. And when he has time, starting back at episode 422, I think. Excellent. That's a good episode. That's one with a lot of information on it. That's fantastic. Linda says, Kevin being good at being bad can be a good thing. Yes, it can.
You can read that.
Amanda says, well, most well-known prayer in Alcoholics Anonymous, AA, is the Serenity Prayer, which is often said at the beginning and at the end of meetings. Other prayers are used at different steps, such as the morning.
Go down.
I'm going. Prayer, the night prayer, and the prayer for specific steps like the 3rd and 7th step, which is why I ask, is that the alcoholic's prayer? Because it is. Some people make a mountain out of a molehill. That is an example of that. You're welcome. Fab Daddy says, Pamela Parker's Fantastic Machine lays well, featuring Star Child Jr., Broken Compass Bluegrass. Nice. I've never heard of any of those people, but I bet they were fantastic. I like bands with names like that. Kevin says, God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen.
Open and closing. As you're in a circle, holding hands.
Yeah. I don't know why that was a nuisance or an annoying thing to question, but that's what I do here. I ask questions and I make statements. I thought everybody understood that. But if you don't, guess what? I'm going to ask questions and make statements. So get ready. If you're thin, if your skin is that thin, you're probably going to have a problem with me at some point. Because I am who I am. I do not change. And I don't plan on it. Fab Daddy says, all people that played at High Sierra Music Festival. Nice. And Fab Daddy says, Star Child Jr. of Funkadelic. Oh, I know who Star Child is. I didn't know there was a junior, but I know about Funkadelic. And Mabel says, how does one expect to learn, nonetheless teach, if a simple question upsets you enough to leave? I don't know. I will say this. It seems to me that some people are not happy unless I'm unhappy. I think it makes them feel powerful or something. I don't know. I'm not really sure what the reason is, but it seems like it doesn't matter what I do, something is going to piss somebody off. I don't care. I don't care. I'm going to do my live stream, and when I hit end, I'm not going to think another second about it until I hit begin on the next one. So I don't know why people get so bent out of shape over comments. People talk. I'm going to talk for 2 hours. It's not possible to talk for 2 hours and not say something you don't like. You know, it's not possible. Unless you want a bunch of dead air. You want me to carefully consider every word I say? What kind of entertainment would that be? I think the big problem is some people just haven't thought it through, that this is a speaking platform and that some people can do it and some people cannot. Some people can listen to it and some people cannot. It's that simple. But I agree with you. How can you learn if you won't allow somebody to ask a question? How can you become friends with somebody if you won't allow them the opportunity to step on your toes? You know? Sometimes people are going to upset you. That's where you grit your teeth and assess the situation. If they meant to, then you might want to fight them over it. If they're just talking and they were unaware that that particular thing would upset you that personally, maybe you should let it slide. Or whatever. But as far as me getting on your nerves, you came here. I didn't come to you. If I'm getting on your nerves, take a hike. Kevin says, I learned that prayer in Alcoholics Anonymous. Probably because it's the alcoholic's prayer that somebody obviously did not know. So, in fact, it was not me getting on your nerves. If you're still listening, it was you getting on your nerves because you didn't know a thing. And the fact that I did got on your nerves. That's a you problem, not a me problem. So get that straight while you're talking shit about me behind my back. Amanda says,
Linda, oh, wait, my chat jumped.
9:38.
I learned it too, Kevin, and got the keychains to prove it. LOL.
Yep, they're right here in my desk.
No, they're in the closet now.
Did you take them out of my desk?
No, you gave them to me when you cleaned your drawer out.
Linda says, Jake, it's better to be pissed off than to be pissed on. Amen, sister. I agree.
And Linda, it depends on how kinky you are, LOL.
Right? That might be a good night for somebody. Not me, but, you know. Debbie says, I always finish that prayer with the last line and the wherewithal to not choke the living shit out of those that piss me off.
Right.
Yeah, I think I've seen a t-shirt like that. Mabel says, I'll be the first to admit that there are some things that anger me, and I won't hold back if that happens. But we are adults, family, and we can talk it out. Stomping away does nothing. I agree. And if you're a hothead, that's your personality. I've accepted you into this family as a member of it, which means I have to get to know who you are and accept who you are. If you're a hothead, I accept that. And I'll argue with you back because I am a know-it-all, apparently. That's what people say about me anyway. And I'm also arrogant, apparently. That's what people say about me too. So that means that I'm going to stand my ground if I think I'm right. So as long as we know that about each other, there shouldn't be any problems. We can argue or we can talk, we can laugh, but we're family. And running away from a situation don't fix nothing. You're right about that. It also doesn't keep families together very well. Because families have to be kept together. They don't just stay together automatically. Everybody has to do their part to be part of a family. which includes not running out the door every time somebody makes you mad. And thank you very much. You know who you are. God bless you. And Timu.
You don't have a Timu.
Okay. I'm a liar too, apparently.
Unless it texts you.
It says Timu.
Well, I turn the notifications off unless it's a text.
They found another way.
Well, I'll check again.
They're stalking me now. Linda says, I meant that as a joke to lighten things up. Yeah, I know. Thing is that apparently, and I'm learning this because I've never done this particular job before, this podcast. It may come as a surprise to you, but I've been making this up as I'm going along since I started it. I've always been a public speaker, but in public, not to a camera. So one thing I've learned is that my emotions don't always read outwardly as I feel them. Some people interpret how I feel differently than I actually do. So I get a lot of confusion about that when I'm feeling one way and somebody takes it another way. So that happens a lot. And another thing is I'm reading text, which means I can't read your tone. I can't read your face. I can't read your expressions. I can't read your body language. All I see is white letters. So how I read it is how I would say it, because that's the way I'm reading it, like I would say it. I'm imagining myself saying what you just wrote. That might not be how you meant it, though. You might be joking, and I might take it seriously. That happens a lot, too. So there needs to be a little give and take for all of us. That's a good teaching moment, this is. That there needs to be a little bit of understanding that we are communicating across the divide and that everything is not a 1-to-1 ratio. Sometimes things are taken the wrong way and it's not intended to be a bad thing. So you need to be a little patient with me, and I need to be a little patient with you, and maybe clarify before getting angry. Maybe just take a beat when you take something a certain way. Maybe ask for clarification before you get angry. That might be a good way to handle it. I don't know. If you have an idea, tell me, because I'm up for ideas. I don't like it when this kind of thing happens. You would not believe how hard I've worked and how much I've sacrificed to bring us all together here under this auspice. Under the auspices of this. I said that backwards. This is a labor of mine. And I'm here on time 5 nights a week, every week, without fail. Sick, hurting, diseased, dying, it doesn't matter. I'm here, and you know that. So I don't like it when people get angry. I don't like it when there's strife. I don't like it when I'm taken the wrong way. I don't like it when I say something in jest and people get offended by it. I'm a comedian, in case you haven't figured that out. Dry sense, yes, but a comedian nonetheless. If you're taking me seriously on a Wednesday, you probably shouldn't. Right? Anybody that knows me already knows this, I think. I don't think I should have to say that. Or maybe I should just put a disclaimer up. Comedy in progress. You know, maybe that's what'll fix it. I don't know. I'm open to ideas. Anybody? Amanda? Anybody see this clearly?
I mean, you're doing about all you can do, and some people you just can't please with a pleasing stick.
This is true. And pleasing sticks were intended for that purpose. Linda says, I meant that as a joke to lighten things up. It was not your fault. Kevin says, Debbie, Debbie, where's the best place to hide a body?
LOL, I know, Linda.
Or Debbie is the best place to hide a body. Or Debbie wants the best place. I don't know what the A&E is supposed to be. Debbie and the best place to hide a body? That doesn't make sense. What are you trying to say, Kev? The best place to hide a body, by the way, is underneath the fence post. Oh, yes. Actually, the best place to hide a body is underneath a worm bed that contains African spotted worm, because it's endangered. And if anybody's coming to arrest you over a body, most likely they're a Democrat, and they're not going to want to disturb an endangered species' last home. How about that? All you got to do is put endangered species signs up on your property and then call your local municipal and have it declared as a sanctuary for that endangered species, and no one will ever bother the worm bed or whatever species you have there, a plant maybe. No one will ever dig it up because it's endangered, and that's what Democrats do. You're welcome. Amanda says,
LOL, I know, Linda.
And Fab Daddy says, all of my friends are forgiving people. Thank you, Jesus. Oh, I'm forgiving too. But if you're going to smart off to me while I'm trying to make you happy, I'm going to smart off at your back. Patty says, Miss Debbie, smiley, smiley, smiley. And Linda says, Amanda, that ran through my mind after I posted it. And Debbie says, Kevin, that is when the wood chipper comes in handy around feral pigs. Problem solved. That's also a good idea, feral pigs.
LOL, Kevin. Everglades in Florida, plenty of hungry alligators.
Yes, and well, a pig will eat anything. Anything.
Alligator will too.
And if you sit there long enough, a chicken will eat you too.
Especially the alligators in Everglades.
Patty says, message retracted. I can't read it if you retract it, honey.
That's the meth gators. They'll do anything.
Meth gators. Methed up gator. Another good idea that was stolen from me. That's the reason you guys haven't seen Methed Up Gator yet. I even got a picture.
LOL, Linda.
What are you saying Me Too Debbie about?
Oh, her second language.
My chat jumped. I didn't see it jump.
Oh. You're up at 9:41.
Yep. Florida alligators. Kevin says, Debbie, pigs got to eat too. And they will eat anything. You throw it over the fence, they'll eat it. Amanda says,
LOL, Debbie.
Linda.
Or Linda.
Debbie says, I charge extra for those golden showers. I would imagine you should charge extra for a golden shower. I mean, you got to produce more liquid. That means you got to buy something to drink. Right? That's overhead. Patty says, I'm going now with my serenity prayer. Good night, everyone. Prayers and peace. Patty, no need to rush off, honey. I love you. You're not mad too, are you? Because I asked about a prayer. Or was it my reaction to it? Amanda says,
Debbie, R. Kelly likes them.
Golden showers.
Mm-hmm.
Fab Daddy says, sweet dreams, Patty. Amanda.
Night, Patty.
Mabel says, I'm Italian. We only know yelling and arguing, but it is always in love. Right on. Yeah, me and my mom used to argue like cats and dogs. Like, if you didn't know us, you'd think we hated each other, but we didn't. She was my best friend, and she kept my teeth sharp. That's what we did. We fought. We argued about everything. And I loved it. I love to argue.
Yes, he does.
And I'm good at it. But I don't like petty bickering. And I don't like unexpected responses. I don't like that at all. The things people get angry about blow my mind. Now I realize I'm special, like in a short bus kind of way. I don't pick up on social cues like most people do. But the things that people get angry about leave me puzzled. Why in the hell did that bother that person so much? You wouldn't believe some of the arguments we've had in here. Whatever. Debbie says, Amanda, you got his number. I hear he pays bank, and I could use the money, right? If I could get money for that, I would.
LOL. No, sorry, Debbie. I wish I did.
Really?
Yeah.
I can pee on you for free.
I'm not talking about you peeing on me. I'm talking about peeing on R. Kelly and getting bank.
I can't help you there. Debbie says, well, shoot, Amanda. It looks like I have to charge Kevin more then. Mabel says, I think this is why you and Vic are getting along. He is very much a sarcastic and joking man, and he always seems serious in person, and it took time for me to get used to it. Well, I am so glad of that, because maybe you'll be okay with getting used to me, because I am very sardonic. I use sarcasm as a weapon, and I wield it like a ninja. So, for whatever reason, that's how my intellect went. Long about the year 2000, I started getting interested in being sarcastic, and it just snowballed. And so I'm very good at sarcasm. And, you know, the response that does go with the thing that was said, but nobody would expect it to be, like flipping it on its head and responding to it. So I'm very good at that sort of thing. So maybe it won't be hard for you to get used to my humor. Some people have a real problem with it, as you just saw. Mabel says, one of many reasons anyway. Well, I think Vic is a great man, and everything I've heard of him so far seems like he is well-rounded. He's got a good head on his shoulders, and he's respectful. And that goes a long way with me. Believe that. Amy says, I'm back. I got super busy there for last hour. Well, you missed it. We blew up again.
Welcome back, Amy.
It wasn't your fault this time. As a joke. It wasn't your fault last time either. I'm just joking with you. Fab Daddy says, when I get angry with Jake, I yell at my phone. Good thing it's not a two-way. I feel better venting, and I don't try and escalate the anger. Well, that's a good way to do it, but, you know, I can't hear it when you yell at your phone. You want to yell at me, yell at me. I can take it, but I yell back, just so you know. Big John says, I am a bit of a joker myself. There's a reason I like you, Big John. Very, very smart and very funny. Kevin says, what do I know? I'm still trying to figure out Debbie's price. Well, that's easy. I can tell you what that is right now. How much you got in your pocket? Fab Daddy says, it's rare that I let Jake get me angry. Well, I hope so, because I'm not ever intending to get you angry. And if you get angry, you might want to reflect on why you're getting angry rather than what I said. And Debbie says, my second language is sarcasm, right? I don't know if it's my second language. It might be my first, but I feel the same way. Big John says, hide body in a pig farm. Well, I live near some pig farms, and by near, I mean like 15 miles away, and I can smell them on occasion. I could not imagine being in the pig farm, because being 15 miles away, it's all I can take. It is disgusting. I couldn't imagine being a next-door neighbor or living on the property. I couldn't do it.
Just driving through the area takes your breath away.
It is the worst stench you've ever smelled, second to death. Second only to death. Maybe burning flesh might be the worst. But pig shit, it's up there, man. That's like top 5.
Me too, Debbie.
So I'd say you hide anything on a pig farm, nobody's going to come looking for it intentionally. Amy says, this rain is making my bones hurt. I hear you. Fab Daddy says, I was just watching Real Killers on YouTube before coming here. I don't like hearing about hiding bodies. Well, I understand that. Amy says, I'm worried about my chihuahua. He found a dead chipmunk in the yard today and had it in his mouth. And I'm praying he doesn't die from disease or a disease from that critter. I don't think he will. Animals eat dead animals. It's okay. They're built for that. The only thing you'd have to worry about is maybe rabies. But I don't know if you can pass rabies if you're dead already. Might want to look into that because I'm not sure.
Oh, Amy, I'm sure he'll be okay.
But as far as just eating a dead animal, dogs are okay with that. Linda says, Fab, I go to sleep listening to true crime videos. I don't understand you ladies. Why do women like that so much? It's like you guys get into that kind of thing.
It's cool to watch.
I can't stand it. I'm trying to go to sleep. I don't want that floating around in my head. And I also don't want to think about you planning my murder while I'm sleeping. Fab Daddy says, Amy, if he doesn't drink water, become worried. Rabies makes you not like water. Makes you hydrophobic. True. Excuse me. Sorry. Had to glue my teeth in. You don't want to see that. Debbie says, Kevin, my price will always be $1 more than you have. Ha ha ha. Gotta keep you on your toes. Well, I said, how much money you got in your pocket? I'd say that'd be about close to that number. And Mabel says, yes, his respect is what won my father over. Originally, my father forbid it because I was too young when Vic and I first met. And he wasn't religious, but it didn't take long for him to change his mind. Well, Vic seems like the kind of guy that can win you over. I mean, he won me over right quick, and I was trying to be won over, but you can get a sense about somebody almost immediately. You know what I mean? And I got a good sense about him right off the bat. But the first thing he said to me was sarcastic, and I took it wrong, like we were just talking about, and I snapped at him like I just did. But that time it was warranted. When Vic did it, it wasn't, because I misread what he said, and I had to go back and take that back. And he was okay with that, and that's what won me over. And Kevin says, Debbie, I can take him out. I can take out a loan. Well, if you use CashApp, you can get to a point where they'll loan you $100. And the cool part about it is, when you get to that point, they'll offer it to you so it doesn't cost you anything. Just use the app. It won't cost you anything to get that privilege. And then as soon as you borrow that $100, as soon as you pay it back, you can borrow it again right there. So it's like having money, extra money in the bank, because they offered it to you to start with, and then you paid it back, and then you can borrow what you paid back. So actually they gave you $100 and you're just turning it over in the account. So it's like having $100 that you didn't have to start with. Kevin says, quite often people come into an argument preheated. Also true, yes. And that's hard to fight against because you don't actually know what they're angry about. So you're arguing one thing and they're angry about something else. So you don't ever get anywhere. I hear you there. And Debbie says, Kevin, negotiations can start at $40 million. Jesus. Easy, lady.
Agreed, Kevin. Debbie got that high dollar P.
I know, right? I was thinking like $40.
She's got them for real golden showers.
You just calm your little self down, young lady. And Kevin says, Debbie, so at least now we're negotiating. Kevin's like, so you're telling me there's a chance? And Mabel says, Kevin, I think the preheat is them convincing themselves that they are right before the argument has even begun. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of that here. You would not believe some of the things that I've argued about on this channel. I mean, if you've listened to me more than once, I'm sure that you've gotten, just off of what you've perceived, that I've done a little reading, right? You might not know to what extent, or, have an idea of what an actual marks on my name are, but you can tell that I've read a book. And some of the things that people argue with me about are some of the most common sense things that if you've ever read anything, you'd know, right? Oh, thank you. Coffee. And I've had some pretty amazing arguments in here with simple things. I was arguing, like last Bible study. What was it? It was Monday night. And as a matter of fact, you might can go read it. If you go back to that video, it's in the chat or in the comment section. Some guy came in and said that I said something that I didn't say. We were talking about women. I don't know if you guys remember this or not. It was in 1 Peter, and the guy that wrote the book was talking about women and men, and he referred to women as the weaker vessel, right? And I said, I don't agree with that, but that's what he says. And then I explained, it was a different time. Women were thought of in a different way in those days. And the point that he's making is based on the culture and the people that he's talking to, the church that he's talking to. But I personally don't agree with that assessment. I didn't say it in those words, but that was the gist of the idea. And I said, I think that God created woman to be a helpmeet, and I described what that means, many things. Anything that is the structure of a man can be described as a helpmeet. The woman does that. Behind every great man is a great woman. It's always been that way. And then I moved on because that was the only point I was making. There was no bone of contention. I wasn't pointing at anybody particular. It was just one line that I disagreed with. This guy texts me back and says that I think I'm teaching that God is a liar and that every word in the Bible is breathed by God, and I told everybody he was wrong. That's not what I said at all. And I argued with this guy for like 2 days, going back and forth. You can read the whole exchange. It's on there. But it's amazing that you can watch the video and watch me say it and take it out of context and then argue with me about what I said. He said, please rewatch your video. I'm like, dude, I was there. I said it. I know what I said. I was there. I'm not rewatching the video. I know what I said. I know what I believe. I know what I teach. Maybe you should rewatch it. Maybe you clearly misunderstood what I was trying to say. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is it comes with the territory. There's going to be 3 Llama fires every time. There's nothing I can do to stop it. Big John says, I've got a big pig farm 3 miles away in summer, but it's nice bacon. But you understand what I'm saying, though. It's a horrible smell, isn't it? Not like cow shit at all. I like the smell of cow shit. It smells like money. But pig shit, you can have it. But I love bacon. You're right. Amy says, I watched an episode of Evil Lives Here, and a lady was feeding the transient farm helpers to her pigs. Well, get a day's labor, fatten up your pig, make bacon. I don't like it, but it makes sense. Linda Davis says, Amy, I listened to that one too. Smiley face. And Fab Daddy says, Amanda, can I get a coffee refill, please? She says, hand me your cup and I will. Ha ha. Amanda says, coffee, Fab. And Debbie says, how do you know I don't want to see that, Jake? Don't want to see what?
You taking your gluing your teeth in?
Uh-oh.
I don't even get to see it.
If you see me without my teeth in, I'm dead. No. You're lucky I even told you that's what was going on. I could have just let you think I was doing a line of cocaine. Fab Daddy says, Linda, pass the sugar, dear. She's got it, don't she?
LOL, Debbie. He don't even let me see it.
No, but I will let you in on a little secret. I can take my teeth out and lick my forehead.
You can take. Never mind. I'm gonna stop.
Listen, let me give you a little tip. I mean, if you really want me to, I'll put the whole thing in.
I want it all, and then some.
Fab Daddy says, Debbie, share the cream. You don't know what you're asking there, Fab. I'm getting the picture that she's more than happy to share the cream. Hang on, my chat jumped again.
10:03.
Big John says, Kevin,
He'll lend him some.
I'll lend you some cream.
No, some money.
Some money?
Yeah, he needs a loan so Debbie can be on him.
I think John's saying he wants in on this action. I got it. Kevin says, thanks, John. And Debbie says, okay, Fab, I am working on it. How much you want? And Mabel says, yes, but that is a perfect example of not stomping away just because of a misunderstanding. If Vic had stomped off, we would not have met everyone. Exactly. And I'm so grateful that he stuck it out because I didn't mean what he took it as or what I took it as. It was a good thing it was so easily swiped under the rug, and it should be that way. I don't understand why we're still having these kind of disagreements here. I've been doing this for 10 years or longer, and these people have been hanging out with me for a very long time. Why are we still hitting brick walls like this? If you hear me say something you don't like, just mention it to me. I probably said it out of context or you misunderstood me. It's very easy to fix. But I guess some people just don't have it in them to be agreeable. And Fab Daddy says, make my coffee blonde. I like my coffee just like I like my women. Bitter and slightly confusing. Linda Davis says, Fab, I'll just stir with my fingers. I'm sweet enough. I know you are. Amy says, the existence of Bigfoot. What about it? Do you think Bigfoot exists? Debbie says, one blonde bombshell coming up, Fab. And Fab says, the moon landing in space gets me riled up, but really don't care that we differ. Why does it get you riled up? Is your identity tied to that event? Because if you're a smart man, the objections that I've raised to it should cause you to think. And I'm guessing they do, which is why it riles you up, because you don't want it to be true. I understand that. I went through that myself. Believe it or not, some things that I teach, I did not want to learn. But I had to, because I can't look away from reality. And so when I make statements about certain things, I've come to that realization that sometimes at great cost to myself, because I did not want it to be that way, but it is that way. And so the moon landing and space, if that gets you riled up, buddy, maybe you should really think about what I say. Instead of jumping to conclusions or shutting me down in your mind immediately, maybe give me the benefit of the doubt. And if I've given you credible information enough times, maybe look into what I'm saying before you just dismiss it or poo-poo it. Maybe I'm not crazy as you think I am.
Crazier than a squirrel turd.
Ask Amanda how she felt about it when I dumped all that on her.
But he's right. I didn't like it either. I didn't believe him, and I told him he was crazy.
As most people usually do.
But we would get off the phone, as we did that every night, and I would go searching. I had all night and all day to search what he was talking about, and I found out that every damn time he was right.
Amy says, remember that one guy, The Truth? Yes. Yes, I do. What an argument that turned out to be. And Big John says, I'm going to say goodnight, everybody. I wish you all a blessed night. I got a bit of pain in my hand. Oh, man, I know that's bothering you. I love you, Big John. Take it easy, man. Put some ice on it or something, or Bengay or something. Get it up. Just take it easy and let that thing heal. And we love you, and we'll see you next time.
Night Nugget.
I ain't far behind you. Mabel says, good night, Nugget. And Linda says, good night, Nugget, heart. And Mabel says, Hannah, right now. Frowny, 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 frowny. Why?
Those are sick faces.
Are those sick faces?
Or disgusted faces.
It looks like frowns.
No, they're green.
Oh. Oh, why is she green-faced?
I think because they're talking about Debbie's cream.
Oh. I've tried to keep it PG-13. I know she's listening. Most of everything I said is up to your imagination to fill out the details, but you get the point. Big John says, Kevin says, good night, John. And Amanda says, hi, Hannah. And I said that because I said hi, too. Linda says, oh, no, Mabel, I hope she feels better. I guess that's a sick face. I hope she feels better, too. Mabel says, Amanda, she says hello and thank you. Smiley face. And Linda, she is fine, just learning new things. I'm sorry. I'll keep it down. Amy says, on one of the arguments, one of the arguments you've had with a longtime viewer was Bigfoot. Yes.
Yeah, that's happened a couple times.
Yeah, Bigfoot is a strange case, too, and he might be listening right now, so Bigfoot, jump in if you're here. He's a strange case because he'll go along with me, and I'll be talking, and we'll be fine. And it looks to me like he's agreeing with everything, and then out of nowhere, he's just angry at me. And I'm like, what? And I didn't even say anything anger-inducing. And he's just, and he goes all, you remember how it was? It was like the whole show was about what he was mad about. And I still don't know what it was. But he gets angry. Sometimes I say things that really bother people. But look, I try to be upfront about that. Listen, I am trying to, it's called Untethered Live. Untethered being the operative word, meaning I'm not tied to any religion or any group or any organization because I'm trying to teach people to look at the world in a different way, to see things in a different light, which goes against the traditions of men, which goes against the narrative, which goes against the norm. That means I am absolutely going to say things that you might think are wrong, that you've been told the opposite your whole life. I'm going to say things you disagree with. I am going to say things that challenge your belief system because I'm trying to teach you a new belief system, which is reality. Because I believe that everything is bullshit. I believe that from 1800s on up till to now, we have been supplanted with a carefully crafted facade that has been placed in front of us to keep us busy, full of false dichotomies and false choices to keep you from seeing what's really there, which is reality. I believe that wholeheartedly. I'm not making it up. I'm not flying by the seat of my pants. There is a method to my madness. I believe what I'm teaching. But I'm absolutely going to say things you disagree with. Be prepared for that up front. And then, when you disagree with me, keep that to yourself for a minute and go look at what I said and see if I'm not right. If I'm right, then you go down the rabbit hole with me a little further. If I'm not right, show me. I don't just say things. I don't make things up, and I'm not a liar. At the very least, I've proven to you that I'm not a liar. So, I believe the things I'm teaching. I might be wrong, but I'm not lying to you. So, show me where I made the mistake. And I don't mean by pulling up the news. I mean by the actual sources of what we're talking about. But you're right. Dennis Bigfoot still hasn't been back since the last time he blew up at me.
Not in the comments, but he has commented on
He's been watching, but he hasn't commented.
Well, he commented on one of the videos post chat after the live.
Yeah, after the show, not during the show.
No.
He used to come every show. And I still don't know what he got mad about. What can you do? I've lost friends because I said something they disagreed with. One person was good for about $300 a week, every week. She was a very big supporter. And I said something that is true, but is not common knowledge. And she got so upset that she quit and never came back and took that money away because I had to stand on principle and say something that was true. And it was concerning the origins of Russia. And what I said was, and you can verify this or not, in the absence of knowledge, you can look to words for input as to the history of something, because we name things according to a science. Words have meaning. And so, like, if you name a banana, you can trace the origin of that word back to the fruit that is on the tree. and to its origin and where it came from and how they used to be little bananas and now they're big bananas because of crossbreeding and all the stuff that is filled into that. Well, you can trace the origin of Russia back to a guy named Rus. Rus is from Scotland. Now, that's not common knowledge because if you go look, it'll say he's from Europe. But if you'll look at the little arrow on the cartoon that is describing where he's from, right behind the arrow is Scotland because that's where he came from, in that direction. And I said that, and she didn't like it. Sorry. Anyway.
$10.14.
10:14.
Linda's comment.
Linda says, "Oh, no, Mabel." And Fab Daddy says, "Debbie knows how eels get to Whoopi." Yeah, I'd like to know how that is. Because you don't know. And I believe that was one thing that I made a statement about that people had a problem with too. But the fact is they really don't know yet. It's a mystery. Fab Daddy says she might be the only person with that knowledge. Well, if she knows, then she is. Fab Daddy says, "I hear if you got $40 million, she might share." I heard that too. Funny how rumors spread. Like y'all know something I don't know. Mabel says she will be okay. She's grown in the mind and in fairness. Nothing anyone says here could be worse than some of the things Vic says. Sometimes, ℂ𝕚𝕝𝕝𝕝𝕝. Right. Yeah, I'm not going to be just intentionally dirty. We do get a little risque at times, but it's because the ladies like it and it's a good way to blow off steam and, no harm, no foul. It's all done in good fun. But I'm not just going to up and say just filthy things for the sake of saying them. That's not going to happen. And even if I do get a little risque, I'm a Christian first. So, I'm not going to go too far into that direction and, go against my own belief system. Debbie says, "You heard right, Fab. $40 million buys a lot of mouthwash, don't it, Debbie?" See what I did there? Amy says 40 million pesos, right?
40 million Monopoly money, and everything is bullshit.
Right on. And Mabel says, "It's all bullshit, and it's bad for you, Vic." Agreed. Debbie says, "Hey, Amy and Amanda, be nice to me." Well, definitely, because you got that $40 million coming. I certainly want to be nice to you.
That's right, Mabel. It's all bullshit, and it all stinks. LOL. Oh, my bad, Debbie.
And Linda says, "I'm going to say good night. I have a headache from stupidity, crying, and thank you all for making my night better. I'll see you Saturday. I'll see you all Saturday night. I'll be at my son's on Friday night. I love you all." Linda, please take care of yourself, honey, and call if you need to talk. And take you a couple goody powders and turn the light off and just try to relax. We love you, and I'll see you next time. God bless you.
Oh, Linda, feel better, hun. We love you, and good night.
Mabel says, "I haven't seen Monkey since a while ago either." Yeah, I think I made him angry.
Monkey comes and goes.
I think I banned him last time he was here. I can't really remember, but I think I did.
No, did you ban him or just kick him out?
I think I kicked him out.
Yeah, but you didn't ban him from the channel.
I don't know.
You just kicked him out for the night.
I can't remember if I kicked him out or hit him.
Well, you have to go back and check.
I'll go look. I didn't intend to hide him, but I might have because I was pretty mad because he was getting on my nerves with that ridiculous behavior of his.
Well, that might be why he ain't been back, because you might have banned him. I thought you just kicked him out for the night.
Fab Daddy says, "I had two 70-year-old ladies knock on my door yesterday, church pamphlets in hand. I smiled, and I cut their speech off and smiled and said, 'I already have my salvation,' and I wished them a lovely day." Well, you could have let them get their spiel out anyway. Those ladies are working hard if they're 70 years old. At least let them say their piece. You might hear something you didn't hear before. You ain't got to join their church. What I like to do when I hear the Jehovah's Witnesses are in town is I'll go get some chalk and draw an outline of a person on my front doorsteps and then throw some religious pamphlets down on the ground and put a piece of crime tape up. They never bother me.
Monkey comes in and out.
Amy says, I think monkey milk has been hidden from the channel. I don't know. I'll look into it and make sure that I unban him if I did. I don't think I did. I think I just banned him for 24 hours, but I might have kicked him out. I'll go unban him. He has potential. That's the thing that bothers me about Monkey Juice. He's a smart kid. And if he would just get his head out of his own ass, he might learn something. He's got potential. And I'd like to see him realize that potential. But I can't do it with that left-wing talking points when you know it's a lie. And Mabel says, or the girl that got mad because Vic misspelled woman when he was joking with me. This still makes me laugh. You must be talking about Sue.
Mm-hmm.
Fab Daddy says, I would say sweet dreams, Linda, but that's a given after you stuck your finger in my coffee.
No, not yet, Amy. LOL.
Yeah, it's not possible for her to have anything other than sweet dreams, huh, Fab? And Debbie says, Fab, I thought pineapples in the front yard was only a Florida thing. You have one in California, too? Just out of curiosity, Fab, is your pineapple upside down? Mm-mm. It's upside down and inside out. Lady B's back. Hey, Jake, dear, I have cooled off. I love you all. Keep up the good knowledge. Jake, prayers. Well, thank you, Lady B. I'm sorry you got offended. Amy says, Mabel, that one really hurt. I saved her from the edge more than once just to be told that I don't matter. Oh, I know it did hurt you, Amy, and I apologize for that. But that was not your doing, and it certainly wasn't mine. She had it out. Some people are just self-destructive, and she was one of them. Whether it hurt or not, you're probably better off not to be sucked into that vortex. But you did the right thing by befriending her and giving her so many chances. That is the right thing to do. But at some point, you got to stop giving chances because they're just going to keep taking and taking and taking in that circumstance. And I think that what happened was probably inevitable. Sometimes you can start the clock on those kind of things. And I think that was going to happen regardless. If it didn't happen here, it would have happened somewhere else. And it would have been just as embarrassing either way you look at it. I wouldn't lose any more sleep over it if I were you. You survived it. You're good. You're good. So, c'est la vie. And Mabel says, well, then, it is a good thing. And she is no longer leeching your kindness, Amy. Exactly. Fab Daddy says the stores have pineapples. I don't hang pictures of pineapples. You're not a Psych fan, huh? Fab Daddy says, being from Hawaii, pineapple is a common. But if you know anything about Dole, you probably wouldn't like what they did. I know a little bit about Dole in the fact that there was a Dole factory where I used to live and I've worked there. I don't know anything about the politics of the company, but I assume it has something to do with the Senator Bob Dole at some point. Is that correct? Debbie says, Fab, it's a Florida thing. And Amy says, I'm good at hiding my pain. I hear you. I'm not. My face betrays me. And by the way, just so you know, my face does not accurately describe the emotions that I feel. So if you ever see an emotion on my face, don't count it to be true. I have what they call resting bitch face. I look like this regardless of how I feel. And Fab Daddy says, Debbie, I heard it was a cruise ship thing. At least that's what I've seen here on YouTube. What, having pineapples in your front yard? I think it's a if you like pineapples thing. That man says.
Bottom of chat. And Jake has a RBF.
Which is what?
A resting bitch face.
Resting bitch face. Yes, I do. And Lady B says, Fab, may I ask what they did? I have a pineapple peeler, love.
I have a pineapple peeler too. Me. Cut the head off of it and plant it and get more pineapples.
Pineapple peeler, potato peeler, toothbrush, you name it. Fingernail cleaner, does it all. That's a water tool right there. You see it? It does it all. I can eat and then clean my teeth with it. Ha! Who needs a toothbrush? Fab Daddy says, Lady B that stole the land from the Hawaiians. No. America stole Hawaii from the Hawaiians. But they did it because they were invited to, and they just didn't like how we did it. And Lady B says, stainless steel takes core out. Cool. And oh no, Fab, really? Oh yeah. Hawaii used to have a king and its own culture. It was its own country. And we decided, yeah, no, it's American. And they were like, tourist money? Okay. And so now we have an American state with grass skirts. And the whisperings of a culture that surrounds it. Mabel says, good night, Jake and Amanda. Thank you, and we will see you Friday. And Vic told me to remind you to rest that voice, brother. Amen. I will. I'm going to right now.
Night, Mabel and Hannah.
And good night, and God bless, and thank you for being here tonight. We appreciate you. And thank you all to the super chatters, and thank you all to the donators. You know who you are. I appreciate you very much. I could not survive without you, so thank you for that. And Lady B says, yep, Amy, I have 3. And Amanda says,
yep, I just said that, Amy.
And Fab Day says, Dole did it along with C&H Sugar. I'll have to look back into that. I'm pretty sure there was a military involved. I know a little bit about it. I don't know everything, obviously, but in my studying of different religions and cultures, I've come across Hawaii more than once. And there are some interesting overlaps to their belief system, their religion, and the culture that used to exist in Hawaii, which was supplanted by American culture due to tourists, which then they bought the country, and the people didn't have any say in it. It was between the king and our country, and we bought the country fair and square, but the people, the community, did not have anything to do with it, so they were just pushed aside like all colonizers do. So I have to look back into it to get all the information, but I will look into it and see what's up. But you didn't answer my question about the Dole thing. Doesn't Bob Dole have something to do with that company? And Lady B says, good night, fam. Good night, Lady B. God bless and sweet dreams. Kevin says, good night, Mabel. And Debbie says, the toothbrush was invented in the South, because if it had been invented in the North, it would have been a teeth brush. Ha ha ha. Yes, correct. Fab Daddy says, 2 and 5. Good show, Jake. Thank you, Fab. I appreciate it. 2 and 5 back at you.
Nighters all. See you Friday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on Untethered Live for Chill Stream. Much love.
Camel.
Night, Fab.
Kevin says, good night, everyone. Kevin, God bless you, my friend. Good night, and I'll see you next time. Lady B says, Amanda. Kevin, heart. And Amanda says,
LOL, Debbie.
Smiley face. And
Heart lady.
And Fab Daddy says, don't know Bob Dole or the Doles, just a little knowledge about the company. Well, that's what I was asking. I think that he has something to do with that company. I might be wrong about that. I have to look into it. But when you said the Dole company, that's what I thought about was Bob Dole. And it may just be because they have the same name. I don't know. But it seems like I have a memory of something that it may have been that he was involved in them when he ran for president. It might have been something like that. I just need to go look. But anyway, thank you all for a lovely Wednesday afternoon. I'll see you guys on Friday night. Don't get wet. Stay hydrated. And have fun.
Don't get rain wet.
Right. Yeah, get wet the other way. Just don't get rain wet. Have a great night. God bless you all. Thanks for watching.
Night, y'all.